You are missing things up.
Look, Aisha, you must submit yourself for screening.
Chairman for what you don't know cancer. Cancer is kokoro jerum. It's not like death sentence. It is death sentence.
Báwo ló ṣe rò pé ó máa gbé àgọ́ ayérayé àgọ́ tí ò lè gbọ́ pá tí ò lè gbọ́ pó wá sínú ilé yìí gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìyàwó ẹ̀.
The tests don't lie.
Is there something you're not telling me?
Guys, do you ever wonder why the movies that make so much sense, I mean those movies that address particular societal issues that everybody should see, are not well promoted? I mean, how can a movie be here for like a year or two and we're just getting to know about it thanks to Netflix? I'm just really angry right now. I mean, these are movies that everyone should see, movies that everyone should be talking about because of the message they have in it. But somehow we don't get to see them until maybe a platform like Netflix brings them on. Anyway, did you hear about Diamonds in the Sky when it was in the cinema? Did you hear about the premiere? That's by the way. But we're definitely going to talk about it because I feel like Nollywood does it better when they pick an issue in the society and talk about it, or maybe turn it into a movie. And that's what this particular movie is about as we get to talk about cancer on this one. Let's review it. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Elisha Moyosayarlua and I'm so glad that you're able to join me on my channel again. This channel is about lifestyle, movie reviews, music reviews, everything I have in my head, everything I find interesting and fun. And I'm so glad that you find my channel. So yeah, all you need to do now is just take a deep breath. Yeah, take maybe 1 minute, a few seconds to click on that subscribe button and be a part of my family. I'll be so glad if you do so. Well, in recent time, I've reviewed a couple of movies, not because they're exactly new, but because some of them just got to Netflix. And yes, this movie we're about to talk about is one of such movies that just got to Netflix. It's been here for a while. I mean, it's over a year they made this movie. But hey, thanks to Netflix, we get to know about it, we get to watch it, and we get to talk about it and also review it. So, Diamonds in the Sky is the movie I'm talking about today on my YouTube channel. And yeah, I just want you to relax. Take a deep breath from what you saw in the trailer. Because I know that you were thinking, who are these guys? They are quite a number of people, okay? And they did an amazing job on it. Let's talk about the cast for a bit. We had in this movie people like Silva, Alenohu, we had Yemi Sholade, we had Binta Yomogaji, we also had Femi Adebayo Salami, we had Omowunmi Dada, who is actually the star girl in this movie. We also had Yvonne Gede as well as Toyin Abraham. And to be very honest, I feel like this movie is a very great movie. I mean, it's something that you should not just see because you want to Netflix and chill, or maybe hang out and chill, but a movie you should see because it has messages that has to do with our health, messages that has to do with our well-being. And yes, it's something that, you know, it's ravaging now. It's not even about the rich, poor, old, young anymore. Anyone can have cancer. And how do you know when you have cancer? And there are, you know, also the fact that there are some specific, or should I say popular, cancer related issues that are very, like, so many people tend to have it these days. So you need to know about it. So yeah, I think this is one movie that just really got my attention, or caught my attention when I saw the trailer. By the way, it's a movie directed by Kunle Afolayan, and you know, Afo almost does no wrong, okay? Apart from when it comes to the story, but you know that his cinematography and his directing is always on point, and any movie that has Kunle Afolayan in it is always like top notch. So yeah, this is one of those movies. And it was produced by Femi Adebayo Salami. And yeah, I think this is one movie that was sponsored by a couple of organizations. We had Left Foundation, which I think is a foundation that is into sensitization on cancer and all of that. And we also had, I think, Sterling Bank, you know, also partner on this particular movie. But again, like I said, it's a movie that has to do with real life issue, real time issue. And yes, it was not too much, it was not done too much, it was really, really on point. Just like the last movie I reviewed, or one of the last movies I reviewed, that's Nimbe, that addressed drug abuse and all of that. This focus, or the focus of this particular movie, Diamonds in the Sky, is cancer. You know, for a minute when I saw the title of the movie, I was like, okay, which one is Diamonds in the Sky? Actually felt like the title of those Nollywood movies from way back, from the year 2000 and all of that. But hey, at the end of the day, it turned out to be a good watch. And I'm going to tell you some of the things you should look out for in this movie in case you've not seen it. And in case you've seen it also, I'll be reviewing it generally and have you let me know what you think about it in the comment section down below. First up, Diamonds in the Sky. Well, I was trying to check out the meaning of Diamonds in the Sky in relation to what happened in the movie. But then if you want us to look at it in the line of the song by Rihanna, Diamonds in the Sky. Well, I think it's just talking about how beautiful life can be, the disappointments, the ups and downs, and the fact that you still have to see or to get this silver lining at the end of the something. I can't remember that quote, but you know what I'm talking about. So it's just about saying that there's just that little line of hope in everything, at the end of everything. So I think it just really made sense to me when I looked at it from that angle or from that perspective. So basically, this movie has three families in the middle of the conversation. We had an average family that's played by Bimbo Akintola, as well as, I can't remember his name now, this Yoruba actor you're seeing on the screen. One thing I really like about both of them is the connection that they had in this movie. You know, they gave this very good portrayal of the average family, husband and wife, who might not have it all, but they seem to have each other and they care so much about each other. So I think I enjoyed it. And by the way, it's been a long time I saw Bimbo Akintola in a movie. I mean, she's that one cute actress that I've always loved from way back and I still love. And I think I even loved that more when a very close friend of mine in secondary school had the same name as surname as us. That she's also Bimbo Akintola. So yeah, I've always looked out for that name and that face in Nollywood. But somehow I've not been seeing her movies. But this one, she's on it and she did her role very well. Her name is Dorcas on the movie, and she's that housewife who respects her husband, loves her husband loves and respects her. You know, her husband is the type that makes excuse for her regardless of the situation. They were living an average life, but then they still cared about each other until she started feeling pain in her body and she wasn't allowing her husband touch her like he used to do. And you know, it made the husband like, oh, why are you doing this now? Why are you pushing me away and all of that? And then later on, she discovered that she had something on her in her chest or in her breast, right? A lump in her breast. She didn't exactly know what it was, but immediately she told her husband. Her husband had to jump on it like, there's lump on your breast and it's hurting you. Okay, I'm going to take you to the man that helped me with a boil I had, because they thought it was just boil. And you know, supposed to be a professor, you know, this Guru Maharaji kind of person, played by, I think that's Martin Olaya or something Olaya. And Professor, story for another day, talking about gullibility, especially when it comes to people who do not exactly have information when they go through this kind of phases, how gullible they can be. The professor sort of took advantage of that family because they were gullible. And yeah, this is the point where you have to say, God, please let me have money, so that when I have issues like this, I can go to the hospital straight and not start looking for one baba by the side. You know what I mean? Anyway, that's one family. Then we have another family, that's the rich family, the rich Muslim. They feel like a family from the north, and the location actually was in Ilorin, okay? All of these families were in Ilorin, but not all from Ilorin, okay? So we have that family. Then we have this rich family who also are in Ilorin. They have a business. It's Joke Silva. Joke Silva is the matriarch of the family, and she is Aisha on the movie, and she has a son, Faiza. The son was supposed to take over the company, you know, by the father's plan, who is already late. And you know, she had this husband's family, a member of the husband's family, who is also holding a high rank position in the company that the husband left, who was giving them troubles. But you know, now higher lady that Joke Silva is. I think one of the reasons I liked about the Aisha role, which Joke Silva played, is how she was able to play out the Hausa intonation like perfectly. Well, not so perfectly, but she did it, and I liked it. And then her son, obviously, who also doubles in the Nollywood and is it Kano Wood now or Hausa Wood? I can't remember what they call it as. But then I'm just saying that he also plays prominent role in some Hausa movies that we see. So it wasn't hard for Ali Nuhu to play the Hausa son, you know, that kind of thing. So yeah, they are rich. They had a company to run. They showed us a bit about their company and the strategies for their company until Joke Silva started bleeding. I mean, obviously, a woman who had already passed menopause, she was worried and she had to go check it out with their family doctor. So that's another family by one side. And then the third family is the family of a girl, although we did not exactly see her family, but rather we were shown the family of the guy she was dating, which I think it's not bad also. So now I'm talking about Adebayo Salami, who played Kayode, as well as Omowunmi Dada, our star girl in this movie, who played Teniola. So Teniola is in school, maybe let's imagine University of Ilorin, and then she had two prominent friends that were shown with her, Yvonne Jegede as well as Toyin Abraham. Yvonne Jegede played a best friend, a BFF, like they said in one of those scenes where that we saw. And Toyin Abraham was just like their third party, you know, but then she still played a very good role. And like Toyin Abraham, of course, she kills every of her role, and she played that Yoruba-ish girl role yet again. You know, we talked about this thing, but not to stereotype her. I think it was just a perfect role for her in this movie. A comic relief here and there, and I totally enjoyed it. But then, if Teniola, that is Omowunmi Dada, had a boyfriend Kayode, who is from a rich home, the home of Adebayo Salami, the home of Adebayo Salami, that's Femi Adebayo's father, and Binta Ayomogaji. So they are his parents in the movie, and then he has a uncle or older cousin, Yemi Shodimo, who is a doctor. So basically, he's in love with a girl that his parents do not want him to marry. But then they had a good relationship. You could tell from how they engaged, how we came to check up on her in school. And then before we knew it, Omowunmi Dada, that is Teniola, started having issues also down a lower region, a pelvic region, and she collapsed at a particular point. She was rushed to the hospital. They referred her to another hospital, and then there was conversation around she having cervical cancer, which was the same conversation they had for Joke Silva. So basically, it was a story that played out on disappointment, on family, on love, on standing for your loved ones, and I think it even became more obvious with the average family, that's Bimbo Akintola and her husband, where after going to the professor, like I said, they were naive. They went to the professor, and the guy was saying he was going to bathe her and all of that for the lump to go. And the husband was like, "Bathe my wife, it's not possible. Yeah, let's go back home." But somehow the wife was bothered, and she lied to her husband that she was traveling to meet one of her relatives. But in fact, she went back to the professor just to ensure that the pain goes away, or whatever she was feeling goes away, because she was really scared. You know, her husband finally got to know about it, and he didn't take it lightly, but then being the supportive husband that he is, he went back to the professor to, shout and all of that. And after telling the wife that he felt betrayed and he wasn't going to stand by her anymore, we still saw him go back with her to the hospital. And eventually, all of these three persons, or three concerned cancer persons, or cancer patients in the movie, ended up going to a particular foundation, which is the major attraction in this particular movie. That's the Lair Foundation. And I think I really like how they were able to portray their services, how they were able to make the patient feel comfortable, how they were also able to point out the fact that you don't have to be rich to come to us, how they were able to point out that early detection is better, how they were able to point out that even if you are rich, if you have an appointment with us, you come after an average person, you would also you'll be attended to in the way you came. They were able to point out all of these things, but you need to be able to look deep before you see them, because they were just here and there, but I could sense that was what they were trying to pass out. They also passed out the fact that they can relate with any kind of patient, whether you're rich, you have a doctor that can attend to you and speak in the language you understand. If you're maybe a local person, you also have a doctor that will be able to speak to you in the language that you understand. They did all of that, and I think it was quite interesting. Everyone got their fair share of the treatments, the processes, what they had, what it is called, the stage of the cancer they are in, and all of that. And the drama also was unveiled on the side of the Femi Adebayo's family, where the mother, being the strong woman that she is, and she was saying, "No, you cannot marry that girl. She has cancer. they are going to extract her womb. She won't be able to have a child. That's Omowunmi Dada and all of that. So yeah, I liked the drama. It wasn't too much because they were telling an important story, but I think it was also very emotional at some point here and there, and I think I like it. The quality of this particular movie is top notch. I think they shot on Dragon, on Red. I keep calling it Dragon, I don't know why. And I think that's one of the top most camera that you can shoot on, and I could see like the clarity was really awesome. Or like some Nigerian movies where it's here and there, like this was totally balanced, and you can tell, like I said again, it's Kunle Afo, so what do you expect? So yeah, I think I really liked how everything played out. Although it's not a movie where you see the story to the end, they had to use text at the end to tell the final part of the story. And yes, the interesting part for us would be that Omowunmi Dada eventually, that is 10 years old, didn't even have cancer. It was a wrong, what's it called now? What's that thing called? Diagnosis. Yeah, that's English. It was a wrong diagnosis. We don't know if it was deliberate, because finally it was the older cousin of her boyfriend who told her she had cancer. We don't know if it was in partnership with her mother, who did not want the boy to marry her. Whatever the case is, she didn't have cancer eventually, and they lived happily ever after. That's what I believe. But then Silva, that is Aisha, the rich woman, turned out to have cancer, cervical cancer, and she had to go through the processes, the treatment and all of that. Well, they told us in text. As well as Bimbo Akintola, who had breast cancer, and she also had to go through the processes. That's Dorcas in the movie. So I think that some of these movies are things that we should resound, not because they are awesome, but because of the message they have to pass. Because if you are one person who had to deal with a health issue, you understand that these things do not come cheap. You understand that when they come to you, even if you are the richest, the strongest, the most powerful, I mean, take for instance what COVID is doing to a lot of people. When you have it, you're in between telling your family or not telling your family. You're in between telling your friends or not telling your friends. Just from mere symptoms, okay? You're looking for, should I tell them I have cough, or should I tell them I have catarrh? That kind of thing is what we saw happen here, and it's real. It's what happens every time you're scared of revealing the situation to people. All three of them had that in common. Bimbo Akintola, Omowunmi Dada, Silva. Silva wasn't going to tell her son until her son discovered by himself. Bimbo Akintola wasn't going to tell her husband until the husband discovered himself. Omowunmi Dada wasn't even going to tell her friends until she collapsed and was rushed to the hospital. So these things actually happen and they are real, but I'm just going to say that at the end of the day, one thing the movie will tell you, or has told us, or has made us understand, is that we cannot hide medical issues to ourselves. You cannot afford to self-medicate, okay? If you've got any medical issue, get to the hospital, get medical treatment, and just be fine, okay, at the end of the day. If I'm going to rate this movie, I mean, it's a movie that tells a true life story, a true life experience. I'll definitely rate it a 7, but I just expected a deeper story. But hey, at the end of the day, it's okay. I liked it. The soundtrack was also very emotional. I think the acting was perfect. I don't fault anybody's acting in this movie, because hey, they just did it straight up and they got it, nailed the point on the head, or whatever. But I think the acting was perfect. Omowunmi, I'm definitely going to be looking forward to more of Omowunmi Dada's movie, because I think she did fantastic in this movie. I mean, she almost made me cry at some point, especially when she was told she had cervical cancer and her womb was going to be taken out. So basically, this is something that is relatable. It's not too much drama, it's not too much storytelling, just direct to the point, and I totally enjoyed it. So yeah, guys, this is one movie I think you should watch, not because you want to exactly Netflix and chill, like I said, but because you want to learn a thing or two for your health and for that of your family and loved ones. Hey, this is where I come to bring this to an end, especially in line with this particular movie review. But hey, let me know what you think about this movie in the comment section down below. I'll be glad to hear from you and hear what you think. It's a wrap, guys. Remember to like and subscribe to my channel. See you soon on another movie review. Goodbye.